Thanks for joining us on the breaking news edition of the debate this Saturday evening. I'm Niranjan, and we just had news a few minutes back from the US, which has confirmed that 2 terrorists have been killed in the drone strikes carried out in the last 24 to 48 hours. What is becoming clear is the role of Pakistan. The location where the drone strike happened is a bordering district with Pakistan. It's exactly what Republic TV has been saying. Pakistan has a lot to gain with what has happened in Kabul, and the bordering district of Nangarhar holds the clues to Pakistan's direct role. Here are the details that are emerging, and then we have some special guests on the show tonight.
In the Nangarhar province located on the borders of Pakistan, the United States eliminated the ISIS-K mastermind involved in planning attacks against the US. Striking back at the Islamic State operatives in Afghanistan, the United States conducted airstrikes 48 hours after back-to-back blasts rocked the capital city of Kabul.
When Islamic State Khorasan was first formed in Afghanistan, it was headed by a Pakistani national, Hafiz Sayyid Khan, who had close link with Pakistan-based terror outfits as well as Pakistan intelligence agency ISI. Not only this, they had links with Taliban, as a former Talib, Abdul Rauf Aliza, was also the deputy of Hafiz Sayyid Khan.
The events unraveling in Afghanistan have, however, put the Taliban-Pakistan nexus out in the open. From leaders of Pakistan-based terrorist group Jaish-e-Mohammed holding meetings with Taliban leaders in Kandahar.
Days after Taliban taking over Afghanistan, now Jaish-e-Mohammed leadership has met Taliban in Kandahar in the 3rd week of August, wherein they have discussed India-centric operation. Security agencies have sounded an alert of a possible terror attack in various parts of India, including in Jammu and Kashmir.
To the Pakistan ISI chief operating prayers with the Taliban leadership. And to Taliban seeking confidence in Pakistan, even calling Pakistan a second home. While Taliban flags have already been unfurled in the Pakistan madrasas, proof of Pakistan harboring the Taliban terror infrastructure on its soil have been exposed. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
And before we go across to the India-Pakistan debate, we have a special guest joining us on top of the show on the Breaking News edition, Harsh Pant, who's the Director of Studies and Head of the Strategic Studies Program at ORF and Professor of International Relations, King's College London, joining us live. Thank you, Mr. Pant, for joining us. First of all, on the breaking news update that we had a few minutes back, I wanted to get your views on that. And the breaking news update that we have is that the US soldiers have left 3 gates and some other parts of Kabul airport, and Taliban forces are controlling these areas as confirmed by the Taliban. So it's happening faster than we thought it would. And another bit of breaking news update that came in from the Pentagon is that 2 terrorists have been killed. Now, what do you make of it?
Well, I think it is important now for the US to ensure that even as they withdraw in a very graceless manner, they actually preserve some shred of dignity left. And I think the attack on the masterminds, they call them masterminds of the attacks in Kabul, at the Kabul airport, perhaps signify that America would retain some level of leverage even after they have left, and that they will keep controlling even through air power, even after they have left, they will make sure, or they, at least that's a message they want to send out, that they will ensure that air power will continue to operate and American forces retain the right to retaliate if at all these kinds of attacks happen again. But I think the larger message that is already going out from the withdrawal is much more disheartening, which I don't think a few of these bombs can dissipate.
Now, what is also becoming clear, at least from the Indian perspective, is the clear role of Pakistan that not many Western countries are talking about. And understandably so. They want the situation to settle down before they begin looking into the finer details. Looking at today's strike, the location where the strike happened, and we here at Republic TV have been saying that you can't really separate the ISIS Khorasan and Taliban. It's a web. And the role of Pakistan in harboring these groups has been out in the open. And the location where the drone strike has happened, it's also a bordering district with Pakistan. So you can't really discount Pakistan with whatever's been happening, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think the more the Americans, use air power to target these masterminds, the more they will reveal to the world how intricate these webs are, and that this idea of somehow that Taliban are now the new moderates and ISIS Khorasan are the extremists. That I think that narrative that they are trying to churn out will lose that credibility even further. So the reality, what India has been saying, what many of us have been saying from Indian perspective, is that this is a challenge that emanates from Pakistan, should be owned by Pakistan, and the world ultimately will only be able to manage this if they target what happens within Pakistani territory. And increasingly, more and more evidence is coming out. It will continue to come out. And I think for America, it would be extremely difficult not to hold Pakistan to account. As we know, we are hearing from senior Republicans, from senior US congressmen and women, that Pakistan should be sanctioned, that Pakistan should be targeted, because eventually this is a matter of life and death for Americans, for the world, for the region, and for India.
You know, another bit of breaking news update that came in earlier today, and we've been discussing it in great detail, Mr. Pant, is that of a possible meeting between Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed and the leadership of the Taliban in Kandahar, right? And we're watching the developments closely. It's been reported now, and even our intelligence agencies have confirmed that the meeting did happen in Kandahar. Now, what are the repercussions of such a meeting happening?
Well, the repercussions are, and as you were pointing out earlier, that these are organizations that are intricately linked to each other. To look at them in silos, and of course, this means that that the West has not learned its lessons from the past. This is exactly what happened in the past, that you had these organizations that work in close coordination with each other, that ultimately their aim is similar ideological extremist expansion that a lot of the Western world is scared of or is worried about. Similarly, in the region, in South Asia, you have organizations like Jaish-e-Mohammed who claim that they have a limited ambition, but ultimately their ambition is much larger, much wider, and much in sync with organizations like the Taliban and ISIS Khorasan. So they will work with each other. It's a matter of time before even publicly they'll start working together. And as you see so-called government formation in Afghanistan, you will see many of these groups will come out from the rabbit holes and they will become part of the government structure. So ultimately, it's for the West to understand that the challenge cannot be met by simply doing intellectual gymnastics, where you continue to make this distinction between good and bad terrorists. And now, of course, Taliban have become these new good terrorists, these new good radicals who are trying to form a modern nation state in Afghanistan. That was nonsensical then, that is nonsensical today, it will remain nonsensical tomorrow, when the threats, when the challenges emanating from Afghanistan become much more palpable and become much more widespread.
One last question, Mr. Pant. You spoke about some countries making that good terrorist, bad terrorist distinction, and America seems to be doing that. What are the lessons for America from this entire episode, and do you think they're learning any lessons at all, given their response to this mess that we see being created in Kabul?
Well, unfortunately not. We don't see any sense of responsibility. We have seen Mr. Biden constantly blaming everyone for this crisis, apart from himself and, of course, the Taliban, which is extraordinary. He has not once said what has happened over the last few days in Afghanistan. He has not once laid the blame at the Taliban's doors. Clearly, they want to do a deal. They want to cut a deal with the Taliban. The CIA director was here. Obviously, they want to make a case to the world that it's somehow Taliban is going to be this responsible actor which is going to deliver Afghanistan to the world. Unfortunately, that's not likely to happen. And what is going to happen is that you will increasingly see pressure being put in place within Washington, within the political establishment in America, to take greater steps towards doing something about Afghanistan, and that will bring them squarely back to South Asia, a place from where they want to get out desperately at this point.
Mr. Pant, I'd like to thank you at this point for joining us on this broadcast. Appreciate you joining us, and taking some time off to be on Republic today. Thank you very much. Okay, going across to our panelists joining us on the India-Pakistan debate, Sardar R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, Saloni Salil, who's a geopolitical analyst, live from Mumbai, Major General S.P. Sinha, defense analyst, joining us live from New Delhi, Captain Alok Bansal, Director, India Foundation and security analyst, Brigadier Haris Nawaz, a defense analyst, joining us live from Karachi, Abdul Samad Yaqub, who's a spokesperson of the PTI, Imran Khan's party, joining us live from Islamabad. Ayab Ahmad, political analyst and columnist, live from Islamabad. Faisal Rahman, who's a senior journalist, also live from Islamabad this evening. Thank you very much. Starting with the breaking news update that came in a few minutes back. America is saying it's not one but two, and the airstrikes could continue. It was a single mission, but they're not ruling out more missions. So I'd like to get Abdul Samad Yaqub's response, because he's a part of Imran Khan's PTI. He's a spokesman. Now, it's a bordering district with Pakistan, and it's coming too close to home. Mr. Abdul Samad Yaqub, it's exactly what we've been saying here at Republic TV. I'd like you to come in and respond and tell us what your party's official stand is, and then we'll get Captain Bansal to respond to you.
The Afghan-Pakistan border is always
whenever it comes to the
terrorism, because the militants over there sometimes cross the border, came over here in Waziristan. And by the way, you may remember that the Mullah Mansoor, the previous Taliban chief, was killed in Pakistan when he crossed the Iran border. So when you don't know about, when you must know about the complicity of these border areas before you blaming or before you are expecting America to conduct the drone attacks in Pakistan. It is not going to happen.
You just made a big confession in your opening statement. You said sometimes terrorists cross over and come to Waziristan. Captain Bansal, Captain Alok Bansal, I'd like to get you in. He's just confessed.
It's a reality.
The spokesperson, one second. Yes, RP, I'm coming to you.
Very small point.
Okay, RP Singh, he's just made a confession. He has confessed that terrorists cross over to Pakistan. He has admitted, Imran Khan's PTI has admitted on the record that terrorists cross over and operate from Waziristan. Huge. Sardar RP Singh.
Mansoor was killed in Pakistan. Osama bin Laden was killed.
Well, that's what I was going to say, that he's admitted on a national channel, and it is on record now that yes, terrorists come across, and that's true also. When there are occasions when they have buried that terrorist in their domain. There are video records, there are documents on record which categorically state that the families of all terrorists are there in Pakistan only. And then whenever something happens to them, they are buried there or they are treated there in the hospitals also. And it's not me, it's their minister who has said so on record. So thank you, sir. You admitted this on the Republic channel online live that yes, you are training. There are terrorists who walk in there, and I respect that terrorists are not only walk in. They are trained by your military, and they are trained by ISI.
Huge. I am just a little taken aback. You've just confessed.
The BJP spokesperson is telling
No. Okay, one second. I'll give you. One second. Hold back. Before you go to the.
Not me who said, sir.
Sardar RP Singh, it's a very serious subject, very serious comment that has been made. I want to go back. I want to go back to that statement that he made. You just confessed, Mr. Yaqub, that sometimes, in your words, I'm repeating it. I have the clip also with me. You just said sometimes it's true that terrorists cross over and operate from Waziristan. You have just admitted on national television here in India that terrorists operate from your soil, and you're a spokesperson of Imran Khan's PTI.
Neither it's a confession,
it's a reality.
Nor it's something which you are very astonished.
It's a reality. Okay, I'll let Captain Bansal respond. And for us, I'm first of all thankful to you for being honest. You're perhaps one of the first honest spokespersons coming in from Pakistan and admitting on Indian television. Captain Alok Bansal, I thank him for being so candid about it. I'd like you to respond to him. Captain Bansal.
In Pakistan. So all terrorists normally reside in Pakistan, and they rarely cross over across the line of control to go across the international border to go to Afghanistan. Now, if you go back into history, you see Mullah Mansoor was eliminated in Pakistan. Mullah Omar actually died in Pakistan, and Mullah Akhundzada, before he came to Afghanistan, was also living in Pakistan. Osama bin Laden was killed in Pakistan. Ayman al-Jawahiri made his statements from within Pakistan, and Haqqani network thrives in Pakistan. So there is no doubt when ISIS-K, the Khorasan chapter of Islamic State, was created, 6 TTP commanders had crossed over. And these 6 TTP commanders were instigated by the ISI to cross over and take an oath of allegiance to to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who was then the caliph of Islamic State. So ISIS has had a connection with ISI for a very long time. Most of these terrorist outfits have bred and have been trained within Pakistani territory.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Pakistan Army has today now volunteered to start overtly training Taliban, what they have been doing covertly till now. So they have eventually come up front and said that we will start training Taliban. We are willing to do so. But the fact is they have been doing so right from the time. In fact, when General Nasrullah...
I think I like to respond now. I will like to respond
I will give you time. I will give you time. Brigadier Haris Nawaz. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, I'll give you time. I will give you time.
Say that I have created Taliban. So all these terrorist outfits, whether be Islamic State Khorasan or be Taliban, so they may have their differences on ground, they all have their links with their umbilical cords attached to ISI and the security establishment of Pakistan.
Yeah, okay. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, you heard what your colleague from Pakistan said. He's a spokesperson of the PTI. You can't say I misquoted him. I asked him a second time. He confessed. He said it's a reality. He said it's not a confession, it's a reality. And I'd like you to respond to that. You're also from Pakistan. You have served in the Pakistan Army.
Let me tell you, respond very clearly.
Yes.
It is Indian RAW which is training not only Taliban Pakistan, they are training the ISS, they are training NDS, and they are all launching terrorists in Pakistan.
One second, you're saying ISIS was Indian creation, is it?
Yes, of course. You are supporting now, you are training them in Afghanistan, and you are launching against Pakistan. Of course, there is no doubt Pakistan, DGISPR, our National Advisor, has given a dossier on that. The point is, you people have tried your best to create a problem in Balochistan, Pakistan, so that we delay our CPAC. But I suggest to you, please stop interfering in Pakistan. Live like good neighbors.
No.
Now, why you're worried, why you're weeping, and why you're crying is because now your all connections are gone. The Taliban have come. They have said they will not let anyone use their territory, and that is what is the worry. You people are creating problem. And the National Security Advisor, they've all said that Taliban, Afghan National Army will fight for 3 years. They are well trained. They are well equipped. What happened? Now you're all opposing him, talking against him. So the point is now, don't interfere in Pakistan. Your contacts are gone. This is what you have been doing all along. That you've been training your people. He said training, and then you launch in Pakistan, and then they create problem. They've been training Balochistan. They've got problem in the Dasu. Everywhere for Chinese, everywhere you people are attacking these positions.
You see, the problem is...
we suggest to you, please understand all these things.
There's a problem is, Brigadier Haris Nawaz.
The problem is that you people have a Pakistan phobia. That's the problem.
No, phobia no. Pakistan, we have
a small country.
We have a habit. We have a habit of exposing Pakistan, but it's not called Pakistan phobia. It's called... You can say we have a habit of exposing Pakistan, but you can't call it Pakistan phobia. I mean, one sec. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, last we checked...
We have given a proof.
No, last we checked, it was the Americans who conducted a drone strike at your border. Okay? Last we checked, it was the Americans who conducted a drone strike less than 48 hours ago, close to your border. Let's get real. Let's get real. No, sir, this debate. Okay, let's have a Brigadier Haris Nawaz. Let's have an academic debate, right? Let's go by facts. Okay. Let's go by facts. I'll give you 3 facts, and I'll let you respond, and I'll let Saloni respond to you. Okay. What has happened? U.S. military claims to have killed ISKP planner and another member in a targeted drone strike in Jalalabad. Was it located where? Isn't it in close proximity to the Islamabad handlers? Now, I'll tell you why the location proves there is a Pakistan link, right? Why was the ISIS Khorasan rushing to Nangarhar province? One, of course, the PTI spokesman has already confessed that they find Waziristan an easy location to operate from. He's admitted it. Second, was it because Pachirwa, Agam district borders, Tora Bora mountains where Al-Qaeda had a base and now serves as a perfect sanctuary for terror outfits? One more point. Was it because This region is easily accessible from the already established proxy routes. I want you to answer. I've stated the facts. We didn't conduct a strike on that side. That side, America is hammering you. This side, you mess with us, we'll hammer you. But that's not the point. Today, we're talking about how you've been hammered last night.
Let me tell you. Yeah. Let me tell you. Nobody will hammer. Nobody can dare hammer in Pakistan territory for no American as long as the Imran Khan government is there. One. Second, Jalalabad, Nagarhar are all in Afghanistan. This all happened when Afghan government was there, and they were all anti-Pakistan because your people have access in NDS. You had an access in the Taliban Pakistan. And you were training Daesh and Taliban.
Sir, what was my question, sir?
Pakistan, and it is known to everyone. So let's put the facts straight. Now the problem is, this is the issue why people are worried is because now you've lost your all contacts. You have brought your all troops, your all contacts flown back to India, and now there's nothing left to worry. And now the Americans are attacking Daesh. They train. Who brought Daesh? Who created Daesh? I hope you all understand what happened in Syria, what happened in Iraq. Who bred them all? So now the point is, now that time has changed. Now the problem is Pakistan is very clear. We are not interfering in Afghan affairs. Let them make the inclusive political government. And whosoever comes, legitimacy will give, will also recognize, the world will recognize. But now the Taliban have said they will not let anyone use their territory. We believe in it, and that's what we are very happy about it. At least now your ingress in Afghanistan is almost finished.
Oh,
and relax, learn to live like good neighbor.
1 second. Don't be so happy. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, what was my question? You know, I told you we'll keep it a very factual debate based on facts. I've listed the facts. I've asked you questions based on the drone strikes close to your border. You have not said a word about what has happened vis-a-vis Pakistan. No. See, sir, I asked you a very straightforward question. You've lost your opportunity now. Let me allow General Sinha to come in, and then I'll go across Saloni. General Sinha, you want to respond? Okay. Faisal Rahman is also joining us on the show, but before that, sir, General Sinha, you want to respond to him, sir? I hope you heard him.
We comment on the Brigadier's statement. Firstly, a Pakistan army, the complete rank and file, are expert in distorting things. They believe in propaganda. The job they are supposed to do, safeguard nation or give military victory to the nation, that they don't do. What they do? They outsource. Because Pakistan army is an incompetent army, they outsource to Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Tauba, HM. And now, even these organizations, terrorist organizations have failed. So now what are they doing? They are trying to contact Taliban and outsource it to Taliban. How long can you keep outsourcing? Because Pakistan army is an incompetent army. Firstly, the brigadier said that let India behave like a good neighbor. What are you doing in J&K? What connection have you got with J&K? Who are you with regard to J&K? Did Maharaja Hari Singh sign instrument of accession with Pakistan or with India? Thirdly, he said India is suffering from Pakistan phobia. We are not suffering from Pakistan phobia. We have hammered the hell out of you in 47, 65, 71. We cut your left hand. What are you talking about? You should be suffering from phobia, not we. We taught you a lesson in Balakot. We did surgical strike in POK because you are used to previous governments who used to pamper you. This is Modi's government. This is New India. We will thrash the hell out of you. Gone are the days for returning bullet fire. Just please keep quiet. Let me complete. When you were speaking, I did not interfere. Gone are the days when Indian army hands used to be tied. This is the Modi government. We will, you bring all the terrorist jihadis to J&K. We'll kill them. We'll send them to 72 hosts. I guarantee you. For us, it does not matter whether it's Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. It doesn't matter. For us, any terrorist who is crossing IB is a terrorist.
Yeah.
He will be killed.
Yeah.
He will be killed. Let it be very clear. You can get hold of all 57 Muslim countries and try to export terror to us. I assure you they will not go back. Within a matter of 3 months. What are you talking about? The job you are supposed to do, you outsource. You are a coward army. You are supposed to give military victory. You have ruined the economy of Pakistan.
If you were
you have ruined the economy of Pakistan. You do only corruption. You only do Ayashi. Your generals do only Ayashi. What are you talking about?
Otherwise,
you
I'll have a
incompetent
more
army.
vocal
You have no
part.
shame.
Don't speak
you
like
have
this.
no shame.
I am
what are you
warning
talking
you,
about?
don't speak like
You
this.
coward army.
Otherwise, I'm going to
You
One
get
second,
incompetent
Brigadier
army.
Harris Nawaz, one second. We're having a very, one second. Let's have a civil debate now. Come on. Please don't speak over each other. See, people want to hear informed. One second. Both of you, one second. General Sena and Brigadier Harris Nawaz, 1 second. See, we are having a debate based on facts. Now, 1 second. No, pull back. Sir, I asked you a question. Now, let me give Faisal Rahman a chance now. Faisal, you know about this meeting that has been reported. I mean, it's all over the news. I hope you've received the news of 2 terror groups that met, one from your soil called the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the other which is promoted, backed by Pakistan, called the Taliban, and both of them, terror groups, have met in Kandahar. What's Jaish-e-Mohammed's interest, a terror group's interest in meeting the Taliban? I mean, we know the answer, but I'd like to hear it from you, Faisal, and then I'll have Saloni respond to you.
Thank you very much for giving me a chance to talk. Well, number one, the report that you were talking about, that perhaps Maulana Azhar Masood met somebody there, I have only seen that on the Indian channels. It's not been reported as such, because Indian media is very biased, and the problem seems to be that most of you haven't been to Afghanistan. Most of you do not understand the nitty-gritties and the details and the ground realities out there. That is one fact. I won't say whether India is Pakistan-centric or Pakistan is India-centric, but perhaps India has mastered the art of spreading disinformation. This is one of the major techniques they've been using for a very long time, and we expose them in the European Union and elsewhere. Secondly, since your major topic was perhaps about the bomb blast, let me tell you one thing. Since I can see your tickers, and they say that it was close to the Pakistani district or the bordering area. Let's talk about it. It wasn't in Pakistan. It was inside Afghanistan, which is an independent country, now currently controlled by the Taliban. You have seen what happened to the Americans out there. You have seen perhaps what happened to the Indians, the way they had to rush out of India, they had to escape. Perhaps General Sena was saying about Modi. So let me tell him one thing. So whosoever Modi has hugged, whether it was Nawaz Sharif, whether it was Ashraf Ghani, whether it was Donald Trump, whether it was Narendra Modi or Netanyahu, everybody has gone home. See, this is what the reality is.
Faisal.
And now, talking about the current situation, if you will allow me to talk, I'll definitely be a part of your show, sir.
No, but I'm just saying, let's stick to the subject. I don't want to talk about your Prime Minister. This debate is about the terror strike, right?
Totally negate
Don't talk about
there is no such story. You have created a story about Maulana Masood Azhar.
Faisal, you're a senior journalist. Faisal, you're a senior journalist. You're a senior journalist. I'm a journalist, right? You're based in Islamabad. I'm based in Mumbai. But let me tell you, fact is, every time we have exposed Pakistan on the world stage, you spoke about the United Nations. I mean, how many times we've exposed Pakistan on the world stage, and we've had countries backers on it. Okay, why don't I ask you one? Is Masood Azhar a terrorist or not?
I don't think so. I
He's
think
not a terrorist.
I don't believe in
He's
that,
not a terrorist.
Because if somebody, Taliban,
he's not a terrorist.
Americans used to call the Taliban terrorists, yet they were having negotiations with them.
I'm asking you about Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Not in my eyes. Not in my eyes.
Okay.
He is running an organization.
Globally designated terror group. They're not a globally designated. Is Hafiz Saeed the terrorist? Is Hafiz Saeed the terrorist? Is Hafiz Saeed the terrorist, Faisal?
No, he's not a terrorist.
Hafiz Saeed is not a terrorist. Okay, he's an NGO. Okay, he's not a terrorist. But I thought he faces charges of terror as well in your country. You're saying he's not a terrorist?
Well, this is my own personal opinion. Perhaps because of the Western pressure or something.
Western pressure.
But the point is, now listen, because I know every single answer which I'm going to give you, that is going to become a tape or a ticker on your.
I mean everyone's watching, Faisal. I mean, you know it.
I understand.
People can see through.
I believe Maulana Masood Azhar is not a terrorist in my eyes.
Masood Azhar is not a terrorist.
Is not a terrorist. Well,
Lashkar is not a terror group.
I mean, if one country.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. I'm curious.
Mindset of the people about one.
Faisal, I'm curious.
That doesn't mean that one side of the story is being heard.
Fine. Let me ask you a question. So when you report about Lashkar and Jaish-e-Mohammed and all these terror groups in Pakistan, how do you designate them? You designate them as NGOs?
We hardly talk about them. I mean, it's
No.
chance.
I'm asking you.
Always,
No, I'm asking what are these groups according to you? I mean, according to the Pakistani media, what are they? Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, what are they? Are they NGOs?
They have been NGOs and they have been very helpful to the people, poor people of
NGOs. Okay. I'll let Captain Bansal come in. Captain Bansal. Okay, Saloni wanted to respond, but Captain Bansal coming in. Quick response. Okay.
Faisal said Masood Azhar is not a terrorist.
Yeah.
If a person is released by hijacking an aircraft in the global eyes, he's not a terrorist for you.
So, Captain Saab, do you believe that Taliban are also terrorists?
The person who was released with him was involved in the killing of Daniel Pearl. He was not a terrorist for you.
Allow me to make...
The globe considers Masood Azhar as a terrorist. He is not a terrorist.
No.
I'm not a government
Please
spokesperson.
remember
I'm a
who all
journalist.
were
And
involved
I have met people
that
and I
were hijacked in
understand.
Kandahar. Please remember that. What is the ideology that Masood Azhar is propagating? An extremist Wahhabi ideology which
Yeah, so then you should cut ties with the Saudi Arabians also. I mean, your Prime Minister goes to Saudi Arabia, gets the highest civil award there. So that is also being presented to him by an extreme Wahhabi government. So come on. That is not the case.
Please, I think, Faisal, let me tell you.
He's actually been convicted and sentenced by hijacking
I'm just shocked.
And you say he's not a terrorist. The global community considers him a terrorist, you don't consider him a terrorist. I find that very amazing.
Yeah, I find it amazing as well because
no,
I think
Faisal, the thing is, no. The thing is, we didn't call this debate to find out, what your definition of terrorism is, because the entire world, right? Masood Azhar. No. For Pakistan and China, maybe not. But you're not the world, right? There are, over 200 other countries that constitute planet Earth. You are not right now in the league of, it's some countries, including Pakistan and China versus the rest of the world. So, let's get real. This debate is not about, who you call a terrorist. That is why we call Pakistan a terror state, because for you, terrorists are NGOs, right? Terror groups are NGOs. I'll let Saloni come in. Saloni, I'm coming back. I'm having an academic debate. I'll let Yaqub come in. Brigadier Nawaz, I'll let you come in. I'll let Yaqub come in, respond after what Saloni says. 1 second. My question is to Saloni. Saloni, look at the points. 1 second. I want to talk about today's strike, right? I asked 2 questions to General Nawaz, Brigadier Nawaz. 2 more questions, right? Look at the location where the strikes have happened. Pachirwa Agam district borders Kurram. 1 second, hold on. So my question is to Saloni. Saloni, Pachirwa Agam district bordering Kurram agency, closest point in Pakistan to Kabul, okay? Nangarhar has a systemic supply of ISKP managed by the Pakistan Army, right? Now, there is enough material on record to show Pakistan's direct role, possibly even in the Kabul attacks. Can they wash their hands off the Kabul attacks, Saloni? And then I'll let Yaqub come in.
Fellow panelists from Pakistan have been talking about that India has been the flag bearer of misinformation. It's a UN report which suggests that half of ISKP is made up of nationals from Pakistan and Afghanistan. And I think our fellow panelists talking about India has lost its interest in Afghanistan and, India has got its hands dirty and doesn't know what to do. I think I'd just like to tell them that I think Pakistan is scared. Pakistan is worried with this whole infighting between the ISKP and Taliban now growing. Pakistan is worried that it is going to hit its borders, which it already started after certain drone attacks in J&K. Pakistan also faced a terror attack when some Chinese nationals were also killed. So I think Pakistan is trying to cover its face and it's actually trying to run in the opposite direction without kind of trying to face the reality that, it's trying to threaten India that they're going to, that India has been attacking Pakistan and India has been, carrying out terrorist activities or training terrorists. But I think Pakistan has now dropped the axe on its own foot.
Yeah. Let me get in Ayab Ahmad. He hasn't spoken yet, right? Now, when the unmanned airstrike occurred in the Nangarhar province of Afghanistan, and this is where Torkham border is also located, isn't it clear that there is a clear ISIS Khorasan link to Pakistan? Location of the ISIS Khorasan terror handler is also proof, we believe, Ayab, of Pakistan harboring these terrorists, as confessed by the PTI spokesman on the show in the beginning. I don't know whether you were live, but the PTI spokesman confessed that in this region, terrorists often cross over to Pakistan and operate from Waziristan.
Well, first of all, this is not the right confession. Pakistan is not accommodating any such terrorist, any kind of terrorist. Yes, I was watching the show. Major General Sinha was saying that Pakistan is accommodating terrorists and etc. What about the terrorists we have caught in the name of Kulbhushan Yadav? Is Kulbhushan Yadav not a terrorist? Was he not involved in the terrorism activities in Pakistan? First of all, answer this. You are asking from us day and night.
We have had at least 75 debates. Ayab, one second. Ayab, one second. He's in. Hello. Ayab, calm down. You'll burst a vein. Relax. Kulbhushan Yadav is a citizen of India. Okay, calm down. He is a citizen of India. We've had at least 75 debates on Kulbhushan. One second, calm down. Like I said, calm down. Kulbhushan, calm down. Calm down. No, oh my God, calm down. No, I am saying it's Kulbhushan Yadav is a citizen of India. Y'all didn't even accept that Kasab was a citizen of Pakistan. Calm down. No, calm down. See, oh my God.
Answer me.
You're not. Oh, but what is your question? I am the anchor. You are the guest. Let me ask you a question. One second. I am the anchor. You are the panelist. Let me ask you a question. One second. Hold on. Kasab. Calm down, Ayab. Was Ayab. Was. Oh God. Hear me out. No. Ayab, hear me out. Ayab, hear me out, no? Why are you so scared to answer a question? Calm down. I'm asking you a question. Oh God, 5 seconds. You want to hear? Why don't you hear a question? Ayab, are you not getting my audio? Unlike your country, one second, you guys didn't even admit that Kasab was a Pakistani national. Okay, we are proudly saying Kulbhushan Yadav was a citizen of India, is a citizen of India, and he's not a terrorist. Kasab was caught red-handed, okay, and we sent him where he belongs. Okay, he was a terrorist. So please stop making these stupid comparisons on national TV, on India. When you come to a debate, come prepared. One second. Come prepared, Ayab, see, Ayab.
There is no comparison.
Oh, I'll tell you, Ayab. See, why don't you learn from Abdul Samad Yaqub? Ayab, why don't you learn from Abdul Samad Yaqub? Oh God, Ayab, calm down, yaar. Why don't you learn from Abdul Samad Yaqub? At least Abdul Samad Yaqub came on the show and he admitted that terrorists sometimes cross over and operate from Waziristan. What are you saying? You're saying they don't. He's saying yes we do. Do you disagree with Imran Khan's PTI?
Allow me to speak.
No,
let Yaqub come in. Let Yaqub come in. Learn from him. Learn from the PTI spokesperson. Let Yaqub come in. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Yaqub.
Listen, first of all, there is no universal definition of the terrorism. Even the United Nations is not agreed on the one definition. So here I agree with the Faisal Rahman. Now, as far as Jaish-e-Mohammed or Masood Azhar is concerned, yes, terrorism. We have issue
Abdul Samad Yaqub, come on. Abdul Samad, come on. Is Pakistan a democracy? One second, is Pakistan a democracy? Is Pakistan a democracy? Abdul. No. Ayab, don't talk bullshit. Come on. One sec. Ayab, please. Ayab, just control what you say. Ayab, just calm down. Ayab, calm down. Abdul Samad Yaqub is speaking. No. Abdul Samad Yaqub, you're saying terrorism doesn't have a definition. What the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You're saying terrorism doesn't have a definition. Are you a democracy? No, this is what happens when you legitimize terror and then start defending it. RP Singh is responding. RP Singh, last word. RP Singh.
You guys don't deserve.
Ayab, calm down. Ayab, I know you've written a script down.
Terrorism has only one definition. Terrorism has only one definition. That is Pakistan. Let's understand. अरे सुनो दोस्त, अरे नस फट जाएगी उसका सुन लो आपकी बात and then let's understand what's going to happen and what's happening in Pakistan today.
Ayab, calm down, yaar. Ayab, this is not a.
Even giving them the right to do anything.
Yeah, listen, this is not a. Ayab, you need to, Ayab, see, learn from Brigadier Haris Nawaz, Abdul Samad Yaqub, and Faisal. They waited for their turn and they spoke sense. Some of them confessed, but they spoke sense. Please, for God's sake, Ayab, don't keep shouting. Yeah, Sardar RP Singh responding to Abdul Samad Yaqub.
Well, terrorism has only one definition, that is that Pakistan is a terrorist state, and then that's the definition of terrorism. Let's understand this. You deny, you keep doing it. You are under the Financial Action Task Force grey list because of this only. We all know that, and you will be soon under blacklist if you pursue the same policy. But let's understand the key issue. What's the key issue is that today Pakistan Army is in trouble. Can they tell us what is the source of income for Pakistan Army? Pakistan Army is a trade house for opium business worldwide, and then for them the source was Taliban. अरे सुना मैंने आपको सर सुनो, it was अरे कुछ समझ की बात भी सुन लो, आपकी बात बता रहा हूँ. And Taliban, and they used to source it from Taliban and give it to the world.
Okay.
Now the problem is Taliban is not going to use Pakistan Army for that. They are going to do it directly.
I'm giving Brigadier Haris Nawaz 10 seconds to respond. Brigadier Haris Nawaz 10 seconds, and then I have to end the debate. Brigadier Haris Nawaz 10 seconds.
Okay. You want to give me time?
10 seconds, sir. You have 10 seconds. I have to end the debate. Quickly, sir. Last word.
Okay. You see, the point is, let me tell you, it is Indian. They are the terrorists. They are doing terrorism in Pakistan.
Same thing.
They're going global terrorism. We all know it.
Sir, have you once spoken about ISIS Khorasan? This debate was about US airstrikes and ISIS Khorasan. Now, okay, I've given up, sir. I've given up, and I have to take a break. No, I have to take a break now. But I'll tell all our panelists that the story is just beginning to unravel. Story is just beginning to unravel and will continue to be our top focus here on Republic TV. I'd like to thank Sardar RP Singh Saloni, General Sena, Captain Alok Bansal, Brigadier Haris Nawaz, Abdul Samad Yaqub, Ayab Ahmed and Faisal Rahmat. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.